celebration today with the land acknowledgement co-written with the Alderville First Nation. We respectfully acknowledge that we are located in the traditional and treaty territory of the Mississauga, Mississauga, and Chippewa, Rama, Beausoleil, and Georgina Islands First Nations. We respectfully acknowledge that the Williams Treaty First Nations have been stewards and caretakers of this land,
as well as many members of our Canadian Armed Forces. I'd like to say thank you to Roger Lidmiller, who's a naval historian who has come today. I'd like to acknowledge two past mayors of Cobourg. From the mayor of Carson Municipality of Galway. I'd like to read that. Dear Mayor of Cobourg, we have been informed that this ceremony entertained to honor a former citizen of Carson. This level, one of our citizens it may be many years later, but we are still grateful to both Canada and America to help us through this difficult year, and therefore it is with great respect that we continue to appreciate you and remember as you remember one of ours. She recalls dreaming and working on the sea. As it is written in the history books, she pursued that dream relentlessly. We will continue to learn more about Fern's story from Leona Woods later in the program. We remain grateful for the partnership, the hard work that this committee, which of great Dia, great mayor, memorializing Fern through this statue, will continue to see it through to fruition. Of course, I would like to thank that committee who was here in attendance, including Lieutenant Chris Parker.
I'd also like to take this opportunity to introduce two of my colleagues who are here today. Lieutenant Navy Brian Holmes at the back, and also Sub-Lieutenant Matt Batten. He was around, yeah, he's at the back as well. They talk about Fern being a trailblazers. These two gentlemen, through the cadet, the Canadian Cadet Organization, has started up a cadet radio training program in the Ham Range.
and when the war started, she was accepted into the third school that she applied to train to be a wireless radio operator. And with great courage and resilience and devotion to duty, Fern made 78 perilous crossings of the Atlantic during World War II. And the work that she did and the subjects that she studied are also in an instant.
Two guns on deck begin to fire and the ship reverberates with a concussion. Your training and experience kick in. Every letter of the skipper's signal has to be sent individually in Morse code. It seems like forever to send be the last message you will ever send. Now you wait. The guns have fallen silent. Mossdale's engines are working as hard as ever. There is silence on your headset. Was your message received? Is rescue coming? Suddenly there is a crackle on your headset and a series of dots and dashes come screaming through. You hastily write down the individual.
skal nok vente, for det lovte jeg sist. Det lovte jeg sist.
Thank you so much. We are very pleased that Fern's daughter Fern and her husband, and Fern's granddaughter Ingrid and her husband, and Fern's great-grandson Theodore could join us today. In fact, their presence set the date for this celebration.
After 2.5 years, we are at the place where we were wanted to be since October the 17th, 2020. So I'm Fern, and I have together with me my husband Dag, our daughter Ingrid, her husband Petter, and their son Theodore. And we are so very pleased to be here. I also bring greetings from my sister and our son, and my sister's family, and a lot of friends and family in Norway. I know they would love to be here too, but that wasn't very possible. But we are very pleased to be here in person to see this wonderful statue here in Victoria Park in Cobourg. In the Norwegian book that was written about my parents in 1954, the book is about World War II, of course. Then mother's hometown Cobourg is described as an idyllic little town with about 5,000 inhabitants by the highway between Toronto and Montreal, and with daily ferry connection with Rochester. Further, it was described as a favorite holiday resort for both Canadians and Americans. And I know that the population since then has increased to about 21,000. And I've also read that Cobourg has been recognized multiple times by Money Sense magazine as one of Canada's best places to live in populations under 25,000, with the nickname Ontario's feel-good town, and the motto, our strength is in our anonymity. So we are very pleased to be able to visit once again the town of Cobourg, where my mother grew up and dreamed of going to sea. When we have been on holiday in Canada, our mother brought us to Canada several times through the years. We always had a visit or visits to Cobourg. We had picnics here, right here at the beach, and we had a nice swim in the cold water. So we in Norway we're used to cold water as well. We are pleased to be able today to meet some of the donors who made this statue possible. We certainly appreciate the work you have done. We are also pleased to be able to meet the members of the statue committee who pursue the idea of a statue honoring our mother and all the veterans of the Battle of the Atlantic. We know that our mother had been very proud of this recognition, and we also know that she would have liked to share it with all the other war sailors. We of course want to thank Tyler Fowell, the sculptor who did such a magnificent job creating this statue, which captures Fern and the Battle of the Atlantic so perfectly. Make Waves is really a perfect title for what Fern and the other veterans from World War II represented, and also the bravery they had. And I think it's the most beautiful statue I've ever seen. We are pleased to see the Skeena cadets and the other young people who are keeping the skills of code and ham radio communication alive. Mother kept on working at sea for some years after the war, together with our father. had settled down in Farsund when she got pregnant. Unfortunately, she lost her 2 first children. But then my sister Sylviane was born in 53, sorry. And I was born just 16 months after. Our father kept on sailing as a captain, and mother stayed at home to raise her children. Sadly, our father died at sea in 1962. Although mother had several battles to fight, like raising 2 kids alone, solving economic issues, maintaining a home, being a caretaker, she lived a good life in Farsund. She had many good friends, and she got help from our father's family in Farsund. When we grew older, she also worked as an English teacher at the business school. Her experience from the years at war, she did not share with us children. But of course we had the book about our parents at home, so we knew the story. We accepted that it was something she had put behind and was not comfortable to talk about. But of course we thought about her as a hero and a role model. She later became a member of a local war sailor association where veterans could gather and support each other. She also had a lot of support in friends and family. In 1988, she received a local prize from the municipality. It was called the Copper Prize, that originally was given to local war heroes. It is a certificate of honor to persons who have had an impact on the local society of Farsund. And in 2022, she, as mentioned from the Major of Farsund, she got a nice place in Farsund called Fern Sunde's place. It's close to the harbor and it's a beautiful place. You can come and visit. I want to give a special thanks to Leona Woods, who has welcomed us so warmly and who has done a magnificent job, both with the ceremony in 2020 and also this very special event for us today. We are so grateful. At last, I would like to say thank you to all who played a part in erecting this statue and to all who continue to visit this site, to read Fern's story and the story of the veterans of World War II. And a special thanks to those who maintain the statue and this site so that others can find peace here. Thank you very much, everybody.
You're fine. Fern, what would your mother think of this?
She would be so, it's difficult to say, but I know that she would have been very honored, and she would have liked the spot, and I know that she ran down here when she was a kid and had her dreams to go to sea, and she would be delighted. But she was a very modest woman, so she would like that it was shared with many other people and all the war sailors. And
She didn't like you say she didn't talk about it, but I mean, what did she think of Cobourg? Did like fond memories of that if you came back?
Well, she always brought us back here when we came on holiday. She wanted us to see the nice park here and the beach. So we always loved to come here when we visited our aunt in Peterborough. So we always had some trips to Cobourg.
When was the last time you've been back, roughly?
2018 was the last time we were here in Cobourg.
And again, just last spot, perfect spot for the statue?
Oh yes, it was very perfect. So we have imagined where it was because we have read about it, of course, and so We are very amazed. It was fantastic. It was great.